Well, hello there, everyone. How you doing on this terrific Tuesday? It's April 18th, year 2023. Hopefully doing outstanding. Remember, have a short-term goal of making every single day a great day. The overall goal is make every day in the future a better day, but literally that's impossible. So just do your best to make today your best day ever. Okay? So that being said, something I want to talk about today is the importance of really cracking down today, thinking about getting started. But before I go into that, I'll say this. You don't have to crack down. Breathe. Relax. It's not a race. Okay? So with that being said, I am Mazske Finance. I'm coming to you currently from South Florida. My macro goal is to travel the world, perhaps. I'm going to test it out, hopefully, if this house sells, by living back outside of the United States of America for perhaps 2 years. And then I plan to perhaps live a nomadic sort of lifestyle. But I'm a human being, so that is completely subject to change. It might change tomorrow. All right. So my little disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, nothing at all like that. I'm a blue collar guy. I started off as an enlisted guy back in the Navy in 1990. I joined the Navy a couple years before that. But I started off in 1990 investing in mutual funds. 1999, I started investing in individual stocks. I had a great stock return from the year 2005 to 2018, and in 2019 and in 2020. In January of 2017, meaning I started in late 2016, I bought my first rental property. December of 2017, I closed on my second rental property. By December of 2020, I had 25 rental units. Okay, now we're in 2023. I actually have just a little bit less than 25 rental units now, but I have a large position in both oil drilling and mineral rights acreage. Okay, so with that being said, you know a little bit about me. I'm also a multimillionaire, okay? And I've never had a high paying job. My highest paying working career, my full-time job, my highest paying position was in the year 2017. I made about $52,000 a year. That's my best year ever, which means every year before that I made less, okay? Take that for what you will. So how did I do it? How did I do it? The way I'm going to say this is you got to get started today. Okay? All of you watching this, including me, who's recording this, and anyone out there who's a friend of mine who has real estate, we are all in different positions in our investing careers. Some of us have 0. Some of us have 1. Some of us may have 25 or 50. I don't know. I don't know who you are. Okay? I've gotten shall we say, a lot of emails, and since I made that video yesterday, which is fine, I've answered every single one so far. Another one popped up as I was recording this. Okay, I'll reply to you all. The more I get in, the longer it might take me to reply to you. Okay, so I was thinking about what kind of video to make, because I wasn't planning to do a course, but I was thinking, what about if I do a series of videos of how to get started? So I'm not saying I'm going to do that, because I have a tendency to start something and then move on. I might finish it, I may just jump around a bit. So anyway, the importance of getting started today, no matter where you are, get your head on straight. Get the proper mindset, okay? What do I mean by that? It's hard to articulate exactly what I mean, okay? What I mean is, though, that you have to want to be an investor. Part of me will say that for you to be a successful adventurer, you need to have fallen on hard times in the past. So many investors out there, including myself, have fallen on hard times, and we learn how to persevere, adapt, and overcome. And we challenge ourselves to move on, become better people. But with that being said, you don't have to fall on hard times. You don't have to fail. You might fall down a few times, because it happens if you're an investor. You will fall down, and you'll probably get kicked, and you might get stomped on. Okay? But you gotta learn how to get back up. Okay? What do I mean by that? Okay? Without knowing who you are, some things you may deal with at times. Your partner may split up with you. You got to bounce back. You got to keep moving forward. Your boss may terminate you. You got to bounce back, get another job. Don't let it bring you down. You may drink a little too much one night and get arrested. Maybe spend the night in jail. Okay. Deal with it. Go to court. Whatever happens, happens. You can't bribe the judge, okay? But then learn from it and move on in life and make yourself better from it. I know a guy, Jonathan Queen. Okay, Jonathan Queen was an African American male. He attended my literacy event back in 2005, 2006, and he stood out to me. Number one, he was an African American male, big, strong, muscular, and he was wearing a suit and tie. Most of the people that attended my event were like me. I was in uniform. I was a police officer in uniform. But most people were just, everyday clothing. He spent the entire day in that event. It was held in a school. Okay, he spent the entire day there. Sometime in the afternoon, he approached me. He asked me if he could talk to me. He was very polite, respectful, and articulate. He told me his story. He, as a young guy, grew up, I think, with a single mom in a city in Pennsylvania. I think it was York, Pennsylvania, or Harrisburg, one of those two cities. And as a teenager, he started drug dealing. Okay? He started drug dealing and he fathered something like, I may get a little facts wrong, but he fathered something like 5 sons, 5 kids, maybe not sons, but 5 kids, all with different moms. Okay? When he was in his early 20s, I think it was, maybe 19, 20, 21, 22, somewhere along that way. He had been arrested multiple times. He had pulled smaller stints in jail. He had convicted felonies on his record, so on and so on. He was sleeping one day in a house with several other people. Drug dealers do that. One of those other people was one of his young sons. The FBI stormed his house. Okay, they came in. He said when he woke up, his little boy who was sleeping with him woke up, and he saw the lights from the guns pointing. And he said his son jumped up and ran, and he said he saw one of those lights following his kid. And he said he yelled, "Don't shoot him! It's me you want! Don't shoot him! It's me you want!" He got arrested. He went to federal prison. I can't remember, honestly. Did he pull 10 years? Did he pull 20 years? Can't remember. Sorry. And he told me that when he went to prison, that he knew what jail was like. He'd never been to prison. He's a big guy. He's bulky, he's strong, muscular. He said when he went there, he tried to be the tough guy. He got in fights intentionally because he had to make his place. And he got put in the hole, as they call it, solitary confinement. Okay? He said that happened to him a couple times. He said one day, as they were letting him out of the hole, I think his daughter had called, and she had she was doing good in school, she had some sort of recital, and my voice is hoarse this morning, excuse me. She sang to him, she told him what she had done, she did something. And he said he broke down and cried. So it was his first time in prison, he cried. And he realized he had to improve himself. He was a high school dropout, multiple felony convictions, was in prison, pulling a long prison sentence. Most people in that position give up. He didn't give up. All right? He started taking classes. Every prison system that I know, I think I know, have GED type programs. You can start taking courses, enrolling like college courses online or something. Back then they would mail stuff to you or something. He'd be allowed to get like course books. So he started first he completed his GED. Okay, he did complete his GED. He started completing other classes. He became an ordained minister while in prison. He started teaching GED classes while in prison. He started networking with people outside of prison. Okay, I think he started with the church and he branched out. By the time he was getting out, he had contacts out there. Okay, when he got out, he went back to Pennsylvania, where he's from, And he left and moved down to the Shenandoah Valley because he knew he had to get away from his old friends. Okay? They wanted to get him right back into it. The ones he had run with as a teenager were now probably in their 30s or whatever. He wanted to run with, do stuff with them. So he needed to create that distance. Okay? Came to the Shenandoah Valley. He got involved with the church. He started mentoring to young people. So when he came to my bookup event, as it was called, he had been out for a year or two. Okay? Very nice guy. Him and I hit it off. I got him into schools with me. He gave talks. We did a little bit of traveling to other schools, and we did talks. He gave some great talks. He was very articulate. I was not investing in real estate at that time. I never talked investing with him. Okay? In the years since, he has moved back to Pennsylvania. I have not contacted him recently. Okay, but you can look him up, Jonathan Queen. He's written a couple books. And him and I attended a book signing together one time. Several authors, I had written a book, and we did a book signing one time. And I was sitting behind my table, and he was up walking around. He's talking to people, and he sold a lot more books than I did. Okay, you can find his books. They're probably on Amazon. I don't know if he's written more books since then or not, but he probably has. He had 2 or 3 out, I think. I used to have copies of them. All right, so with that being said, why am I sharing that story with you? Why? He fell in some hard times. He is now a successful human being. You don't have to fall in those hard times, but you need to find it in you to realize that if you become a real estate investor, you have to get your head on straight. You have to study your market. You have to get your credit good, a nice score. You got to have income. You have to work a job and do well to have income so you can qualify for a mortgage. And when you start buying rentals, I'm going to fast forward here just a bit to wrap this up. When you start buying rentals, at some point, a tenant will require getting evicted. At some point, you will replace a roof. You will replace a furnace. You will replace doors, windows. You will spend money that you don't have currently. You might spend a lot of money, 6 figures, that right now you have trouble scraping together 2 nickels. Okay? It's going to happen. If you think about it and dwell on it, it could get you down. You got to keep moving forward. All right? You just got to keep moving forward. Someone said in a comment yesterday, I think, that it took him a couple of videos to see that I have determination. I do. I don't know why. I grew up with an older brother. He used to beat me up. I got hurt a lot as a kid. I'll tell you one quick story. What happened to me as a kid? I can tell you hundreds of stories. One quick story. When I was probably 5 or 6 or 7, my older brother had some girl who was probably 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years older than him in the neighborhood was there, and we had a tree down back. We had a big hill, tree down back, and they had started to make a tree house up there, put a couple boards up there. So there was a ladder there. The ladder was laying on the ground. They had a pulley up there with a rope on it, and they said, "Hey, Masky, let's tie that rope around you, and we'll pull you up there." And I said, "Okay." I was just a little kid, a little tight. So they went, and I started pulling up. Okay? My mind remembers reaching for that board. My mind remembers it was very far down. 15, 20 feet. I don't know, I was little. And as my hand was like right there to grab the board, all of a sudden I was falling. I landed, sorry for clapping, I landed on my back on top of a metal ladder. I remember I was crying a lot. I got hurt. The only thing my brother told me was that the girl let go of the rope and he couldn't hold me. That was not the first time I got hurt. That was not the last time I got hurt. But I've been hurt many, many, many times. So, what did that do to me? I don't know. Taught me determination, perhaps. Taught me that I have to learn what I realized early in my police career. I think that's when it was. I could not count on any employer I could not count on the fact that I would not get fired, get laid off, whatever. I had to learn how to provide for myself. I didn't start my own business. I started investing. I continued investing. And as the years went on, I realized, okay, I'm going to make it through to my pension. I'm getting close, but my pension, I can't live on it. I got to do something better. And I started buying real estate. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up now. I don't know if I ever do a course. I make a lot of videos. Almost every single day I make a video. Almost. We'll say 5 days out of 7, 6 days out of 7. Okay. I talk on a lot of topics. I've said many times, back when I had 100 videos, I said, I've given away the keys to the castle. All right, let me run down something real quick. I have a variety of playlists. One of them is 0 to 25 in 4 years. Another one is interviews with others. I encourage you to watch the 0 to 25 in 4 years. I encourage you to watch all of the videos in the interviews with others. You will hear other people's stories of how they did it. Okay? No, none of you can copy me exactly. You can't. You can, as Millennial Mike says, copy and paste, but you can't. You can't do everything exactly like I did. You got to find your own path. The more stories of other people you can hear, there's different ways you can do it. That's the beauty of real estate. That's the beauty of being an investor. There's not exactly one way to do it. There's 1,000 ways to do it. There's 1,000,000 ways to do it. Okay? You got to figure out what works for you. All right, I got to wrap this up. Have a great day. Make today a great day. Talk to you hopefully tomorrow. Maskey's signing out.